everybody, how's it going, you guys? Mushkin here, you guys, and tonight on the WWE Network, we just had a Stone Cold podcast with Mick Foley, you guys. I've been looking forward to this podcast, actually, when it was announced about a week or two ago, and they had it tonight, all part of WrestleMania weekend, you guys, and it was a surprise twist, because I did not expect it to be this way. It was in front of a live crowd, you guys. I think it was in the same building as they were doing Axis all week long. I could be mistaken, I'm not sure, but it looked like where they were doing Axis all week long, and it was set up like, kind of like Tough Enough, you know how it was set up at Full Sail University? It's kind of like the similar setup, like when they first started the show, I was like, oh, like, are they at Full Sail? But then I was like, oh no, they're just down the road in Dallas, but the live crowd was there, and when it first started off, I was like, I don't know how I feel about a podcast being in front of a live crowd, just because it might not have the feel, like, have the same touch to it, or the feel to it. I mean, it's really cool for the people to be there. I know a few people on Twitter who are actually there, you guys, at the Stone Cold podcast. They posted some pictures and videos. I was like, that's so cool, you guys. But, I mean, it's fun for them, but, like, I mean, as far as a podcast go, I didn't feel all that good about it being in front of a live crowd, just because I feel like, I don't know, you're really restricted. I mean, you're restricted enough on the network, especially for a podcast, but, you know, especially in front of a live crowd, that just adds that more of a bit of like a, hey, look out, you know? I mean, if they were doing a Q&A, that would have been a different thing. If they were doing a panel, it would have been a different thing, but doing it in front of a live crowd, I just didn't dig it. But anyways, Mick Foley, I mean, there wasn't really anything new that we really learned about Mick Foley. Maybe one thing, which was kind of a funny thing. But, like, I mean, he talks about the same things, how he came up with the character of Dude Love, Mick Foley, Cactus Jack, how he came up with the names, how they developed over time. He said, you know, he would literally hide under the ring for, you know, like 3-4 days a week when he'd be traveling on the road to get into that character and stuff. He talked about one time, when he was at the Dallas Sportatorium, when he was wrestling there, that how he found a girl in a bar or something, and he was dressed up as Cactus Jack. She digged Cactus Jack, so he never told her that his real name was Mick Foley and that he was playing a character. He just always stayed in character for her, and they ended up breaking up. He had a scaffold match. He fell like 20 feet or something, and she like begged him to take her back and all that stuff. That was like a funny story right there. Another thing that we learned was like when he was in Japan and he had all those matches with Terry Funk with the explosives and stuff, and then one day he just comes on, his wife is like, why are you smelling like that? And then like, you know, he rolls up his sleeve and she sees the scar and the burned skin on him. So like, you know, there's nothing really like special to learn about the Hell in a Cell match. He says it was the stupidest idea ever that he's had to go up on top of that cell match and actually jump how many ever feet it is, you know, down to the ground and stuff like that. Like, I mean, and then, you know, his daughter Noelle Foley, she's really beautiful, but she comes out, and when she does, I was kind of like, what are you guys doing? Like, you know, I've heard the rumors, just like everybody else, that she's training to be a diva, all that stuff. She's, you know, when she comes out, they're doing a show very soon on the network, I guess, called Holy Foley, which is premiering sometime in August, I think. So, you know, her and Foley promote that, and when she does come out, it gets really awkward, even for Steve. Like, you can tell he was trying to look for questions to talk about. And at the beginning of the podcast, right, Steve and Foley are like, alright, we're gonna talk Ambrose really soon. They don't talk about Ambrose and Brock Lesnar, their street fight, until like literally the last 10 minutes of the podcast. And then like the last 3 minutes of the podcast, they talk about Stan Hansen and the Freebirds going into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. You guys, honestly, I mean, I'm not complaining, but like I stayed up the whole entire night to like watch the podcast. It wasn't all that special. It was a good watch if you have time, you know, watch it. Then, but if you don't, if you missed it, it's fine. I think it was just like the live crowd that really kind of killed it off. But you know, I mean, it was good for what it's worth. I'm not gonna put it all down. But yeah, you guys check it out if you want to. If you don't, that's fine. I mean, this is just my opinion. It wasn't all that special, but you know. Yeah, you guys, that's it for this video. Hope you guys liked this video. Got kind of a little insight into the podcast if you didn't check it out, you know. And yeah, you guys, I hope you've had a good day. And yeah, I'll see you guys very soon. Bye.